All right, Jenna Johnson, what a night and quite the morning you had with all of this Dancing with the Stars. You made history, which we're of course going to get into, but I want to talk to you about what happened last night on the show. There was a little slip up and it seems that it might have been a little more serious than we were all thinking. Talk to us about what happened and how are you feeling today?
Yeah, so last night, obviously it was the first time that two girls were dancing together. And I should have known that there was gonna be a flaw in the system. But no one had ever done this before. So we didn't know that with two girls and long dresses, long skirts, that potentially one of us would slip. So I slipped on JoJo's dress while we were doing our quick step. Both my feet actually came out from under me. And while I was in that process of like trying to squeeze and not fall, thankfully she held me up. My knee kind of tweaked, kind of slipped out of place, came back in. Anyway, so yes, I hurt my knee last night. Very unfortunate. But now we know we should make sure that our skirts aren't as long for our next ballroom standard dance. So this doesn't happen again.
Well, you're all good though. We don't have to worry about like Jenna missing out week 2, right?
No. There's no way that I would miss out on week 2. They made me take a day off today to just rest. So icing the knee, but I feel fine. I did some therapy last night, but I'm very excited for week 2.
Now, has JoJo called to check in? Because she seemed very concerned on her stories too. She's so adorable.
She is the sweetest human in the world. She's already FaceTimed me 2 times. One to check in on me and to make sure that she was practicing our week 2 dance correctly. Of course, just like star student already practicing at home. And then I think she's going to announce it today, but she did get a puppy today. So we have seen the new puppy and she is adorable. So yes, we've been in contact.
Love that. Well, I hope the puppy will be in some of these like Dancing with the Stars packages, maybe come into rehearsals.
Oh my goodness. I'm like, that I'm coming over like immediately, right? So I hope I get to meet the puppy soon.
Well, listen, week 1, everyone's nerves are there. It's unfortunate that you guys had to slip up, but how did you guys feel about it? And how do you like plan to move forward from this?
It's funny because obviously I'm so disappointed because I feel like I took away from JoJo's moment, because this was such an epic night for us, for Dancing with the Stars, for her. So again, I think that she did get to have her moment. I think that even with this stupid little slip up, she did incredible. And even with that fall, I think it highlighted her because it showed what a great partner she is. I mean, I will confidently say that a lot of my male partners would have probably dropped me or not have saved me like she did. So, kudos to her. I think everything's meant to be how it should be. And so if anything, it just elevated our partnership and our connection.
Well, let's get into the beginning of the premiere. When they said Jenna and JoJo this season on Dancing with the Stars, what did that feel like for that to finally be out there, partnership official, and you guys making history? What did that feel like for you?
It was crazy because, and I'll be 1000% honest, I was so nervous. And I've been on the show for many seasons and I have never felt those kind of nerves that I did last night. And I wasn't nervous because of our dancing or because of JoJo. I was just, this is a first for me. As you know, I've never been in this position. I didn't know what to expect. And as I've gotten to know JoJo, now I want to just protect this like cutest, sweetest little baby that she is. It's like my little baby sister. And so I was so nervous for her and for people's responses because this is very different. And this is a very big step forward. So when they announced us, all of those nerves went away and I just felt at peace. And that was very reassuring to me that like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And this was meant to be. So go out there, have the courage. If JoJo has this courage to do this very scary thing, then I can as well. So it was all sorts of emotions, but it was very, very thrilling.
I think fans loved this so much. And it was really cute because prior to the show, Jojo did a few of various interviews and she kept mentioning your name as someone that she'd like love to be paired with. So we got a glimpse of it on the show last night, but how did you guys really react when you finally saw like, we're going to be partnered together?
Well, I mean, they made the announcement that JoJo was going to be on the show and she was going to be dancing with a female. Obviously, I got jealous and I'm like, well, I would love that role. I want to be that first person. But I have never met JoJo before in my whole entire life. And so it's like, I don't know how it's going to be. She has a lot of energy. This might be very overwhelming for me. The second I met her, just full of love, full of life, full of joy and positivity. And her energy is just so infectious to be around that it's been such a blessing to be with her. I just feel like I'm growing, I'm learning as a person. I'm 10 years older than her, which makes me physically ill to think about because I feel like I'm still young, but she's like young. But I'm learning so much from her. And so it's just been so much fun. And I was telling her yesterday, like I look forward every day to going to rehearsal with her. I'm not dreading like, oh gosh, I have to do this again. Yeah, here we go. Hope they like this week. Every day, just I get to be my most creative self and in a very different creative way this season. But we've just had a blast.
Now, I loved what you wrote on Instagram after the show. I know you touched on this about how she's like teaching you different things, but you said it was so sweet. You said that she's like kind of changing your life in a way. So I was just wondering if there were any specific ways additionally that she's already doing that.
And from day one, Jojo's told me that since she was little, she's just always been really open. And I was like, oh yeah, I get it. But she really is. She's open to everyone, everything, any idea. And for me, that's been a big lesson because I think sometimes I can be a little bit judgmental or like a little bit hesitant. And so to see her just like so accepting and loving of anyone, anything, whatever you believe, whoever you want to love, whoever you want to dance with, has been so awesome and really inspiring for me. So I hope to have that new sort of outlook on life moving forward.
Now, Dancing with the Stars, they could have chose any female pro to make this happen. So Jenna, talk to us about what it was like when you got that call and how honored you are to be doing this.
Yeah. It was a little bit scary because I remember I got a text from our executives and they just said, hey, we need to have a Zoom later today. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm getting fired. Like I literally thought like, this is it. Yeah, this is it. And so I was like, all right. So I jumped on a Zoom and this was before I had even been picked up for the show yet. And it was our executives and they were like, we just have a question for you essentially. We have some amazing news this season. We're going to be doing something historical. Like we're making history. We're having the first same-sex couple. And I was like, yes. And for some reason, immediately I was like, oh, it's going to be two guys. And I thought they just maybe wanted my opinion on the matter of like choreography or what. And they were like, would you be willing to dance with a female? And I was just like, whoa. And without even thinking, I said, yes. I just was like, absolutely, yes. And so we finished our conversation and then I sat there at home that whole rest of the night and I got like a little bit nervous and like butterflies. What did I just say yes to? What am I like, do I know what I'm doing? Do I even know how to partner a girl? Like what? And so, and I spoke with my parents about it and they just kept telling me, like, what an honor this is that they would trust you with something like that. And coming from my parents, like I thought they were going to be like, oh gosh, what are you doing? They just kept saying like, what an honor. And it's so true. I'm so grateful that Dancing with the Stars trusted me with this because this is such a huge moment for the show. And so, yeah, I hope to do the season justice with JoJo. And I don't take this role lightly. I'm very, very excited to see what we can produce.
And fans have been wanting this for a while. I know
Yeah.
that it happened on Strictly Come Dancing, so we're finally bringing it over to Dancing with the Stars. Why do you think season 30 was the perfect time to do something new and exciting like this?
I I feel like this has been a long time coming. But I feel like especially with these past 2 years, there's been a lot of steps forward. And I think it was just inevitable that in 2021 that this was supposed to happen. It's time, and I think it's actually just amazing for our audience in general that we're able to do this, and able to take that risk. So I think it's been a long time coming. And like you said, in a few different countries, they've tried it. So I think that gave us like a little bit of that, like, oh, maybe we can do this too. But I'm so proud of the show and the network that they decided to do it this season. And it's season 30. Like, you got to do something epic, right?
You do. And I was going to say, Dance with the Stars is not easy, but now this takes it to a whole new level. So what challenges are you facing in rehearsals? Like, are you going to be the one leading every time? Are we going to see more lips? Kind of talk to us about that process, what you're thinking each week, JoJo.
Everyone keeps asking me that, like, who's going to be leading? And I think we're going to have to figure it out as we go. Some of the challenges, I think, obviously last night, like, we're both two girls dancing in high heels. There is a difference when one person gets to be in flat shoes and one person is in a heel, just the balance, the control, the power. But I feel like JoJo and I also have the mentality of like, whatever they can do, we can do as well. So we don't want those like little things to be a hinder to us at all. But I think we're just figuring it out as we go. She is a little bit taller than me, so in the frame dances, I think it feels more comfortable for her to be the guy role or be the lead, if you will. We tried it the other way many times with me being the guy, and she was like, "This doesn't feel right. You're too short. You're too short." And I was like, "All right, you tell me," because I'm down with anything. And I love that she's down with anything, so it's going to be an experiment every week, depending on the style. So we'll see. I think I want to stay pretty consistent with it. But also, like, why set boundaries for ourselves? Like, let's go for it, regardless of what it's going to be.
Like, you were having so much fun last night, but I know that ballroom, it's a lot about the chemistry. So
yeah.
How sexy are we getting this season? Have you guys like had those discussions yet?
It's funny because she is also like, and I make this joke to her all the time. We'll be in rehearsal and I'll say like something and she'll do like a funny like sex joke about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you are so 18. Like, you are such a child. I cannot. But we'll see. I mean, why have this opportunity and not go full out with it? So we'll see how sexy we get. But I mean, I think also my role on the show, like, I can't not be my true self as well. So I feel pretty feminine and confident and empowered when I am being sexy and fierce. So we'll see what JoJo's willing to do.
Could see that happening for maybe like a salsa.
I think like an Argentine tango, like, you have to be in that world. I think though JoJo is an actress though, and so I think she can play a role. So if anything, we'll just have to like give her an alter ego for the week.
I like that. I think she's down for that challenge.
She's down for anything, honestly.
That's awesome. I know sometimes like season to season, you guys will have choreographers step in to help. Has there been any assistance there?
Not yet. I've had to prep with a female, which is very different. So usually I prep with a guy or my husband. Thanks to COVID, that can't happen. But also it's been interesting because I don't want to prep with a guy. I only want to prep on a female to see what it's going to translate and what it's going to look like once I put it on JoJo. So we'll see if we get fancy with it though later on in the season.
Well, Jojo, she's a dancer herself. She's no stranger to this. Of course, ballroom's new for her, but has
Yeah.
she been trying to collaborate? Is she trying to put in those freestyle moves, anything like that yet?
She's been the most incredible student, and I think she understands that this isn't her world necessarily of partnering or ballroom dancing. So she's really been a sponge and just so respectful to me. You know, sometimes I have partners that like want to tell me their opinion right away and what it should be, or I saw this video. I'm like, did you? But it's been fun because I want it to feel natural on her. So little nuanced moves, like in our beginning yesterday, we were supposed to do a different beginning and our set kind of got rearranged. And so we were trying to fill some counts. So we played with a bunch of different options. And I was like, what do you feel best doing? And she was like, you know what? I just want to do a head roll to begin. And I was like, yes,
Let's
do
do
a
it.
head roll because that is JoJo. So it's like little things like that she's just really in tune with her body. So I will definitely turn to her and be like, what feels natural? Yeah.
And I saw she actually helped with the wardrobe department too. She was like adding rhinestones on before the show. How did that happen? How did she get approval to do that?
I don't think she got approval actually for that. But she did give them a fair warning, the wardrobe department. She said, I love rhinestones. You guys do your thing, and I will probably add more in my trailer. No joke. We were in dress rehearsal and I looked over. JoJo was sitting on one of the tables, like those little cocktail tables that they had the celebrity sitting at last night, with her full rhinestone kit, rhinestoning her
Okay.
belt on herself. Oh, yeah. It like never in my life have I seen this visual before. And I just had to laugh, but like, that's her. That's her brand. That's what makes her JoJo. And so what can you do wrong with a little bit more rhinestone, you know?
Did you get more rhinestones too? Was she
I
like
didn't. I
with the
settled.
glitter in the hair?
I settled with the rhinestones that I had. I mean, I thought I loved rhinestones. She loves rhinestones. But I will give it to her. Never have I had glitter in my hair before, and she provided glitter for my hairstylist, and we did glitterify my hair. So yeah.
It looked good. It looked very good.
Thanks.
So props to JoJo for that one. Now,
Yes.
you're obviously spending a lot of time in rehearsals together. I know you're going to get to know each other even more as the weeks go on, but what's something you think America doesn't necessarily know about her that you've learned just from being with her for hours?
It's funny because I feel like everybody, again, until you've really met somebody, you can't fully make an opinion about them. And I am guilty of doing that myself, but for everyone was like, oh, she has a lot of energy. Oh, she's like, she can be a little bit obnoxious sometimes. And I was like, all right, okay, let me figure it out for myself. I don't think people really understand that she is a human and she has real emotions, and she is an 18-year-old girl who is going through those same insecurities that a lot of us do. And it's been so beautiful to get to know her because she does have this vibrant energy and she is such a bubbly person. I would say 99% of the time. But, then she is focused and serious and concerned about her dancing, what people are going to say, what people are going to think. And so it's been awesome because I feel like I see a 18-year-old version of myself in her, going through those similar things as a dancer and just kind of in this industry. So yeah, I'm just so proud of her and for being so successful at her age and for having the platform she does. I get stressed about 10 mean comments on my Instagram. I can't imagine having 36 million opinions about me at all times. So I'm just so proud of her, and getting to know her and just like the strength that she has as a human, as an 18-year-old is just so inspiring.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who are sending those comments sometimes forget that she is so young.
Yeah, like come on. If
Yeah.
I had to deal with that at 18, I don't know if I would have pursued it. So good for her. Yeah.
has that training, that Abby Lee Miller training under her belt, which I think helped, honestly. Has she, I know that Abby and Jojo used to be close. Has she like reached out to you guys, given you any support, advice?
Uh, Not to me personally. I know that they still, I think, are in communication with each other. I've never watched Dance Moms, so I don't even
Okay.
know the whole dynamic really. I know that JoJo watches Dance Moms a lot. So, and she's mentioned Abby a few times. Abby hasn't hit me up yet, so we'll see if that happens.
I was gonna say, who's the tougher teacher, you or Abby, as Jojo mentioned that.
Ooh, I feel like we have very different teaching styles from what I've heard about the show. So I hope I'm a more welcoming teacher. I'm not sure, but again, I've never met Abby, so I can't make those assumptions.
And it's still very early on in the season, of course, but at this point, have you and Jojo discussed who you think is your biggest competition? Is there a friendly thing going on with like you?
You know, it's so crazy because we had the weirdest rehearsal schedule for the past few weeks. We were rehearsing at 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. every night.
Wow.
And no one wants to rehearse at that time. I'm not sure why JoJo said that that's going to be our time slot. She was like, yeah, night rehearsals. I was like, you're crazy. But no one was ever at the rehearsal studio. So we didn't get to see anybody. So last night was the first time that we saw everybody, all of their dancing. So we haven't had a chance to really discuss like who's our biggest competitor or, who's to look out for. I mean, I can tell you my favorites just from last night. I think Iman shocked me and
Good.
was
For a
so
A-star.
good and cute and like his face and his dancing. I was shocked. I think Olivia Jade and Val shocked a ton of people. And I've been secretly getting these videos from their rehearsals and just being like, oh my gosh, she's gonna be amazing.
Right.
So I think they were incredible. I'm obsessed with Matt James. I cannot. And to see him back with my best friend, Lindsay Arnold, it was just so awesome to see them dancing. So I think there's so many great characters, great dancers. Oh, Amanda Klutz, like, are you kidding me? So it's going to be so interesting. I feel like it's really tough this season.
Yeah, I'm looking on social media, and that seems to be the general reaction is just like everyone is a star this season. So how do
Everyone.
you feel like going into week 2, knowing how good everyone is? What are we gonna do, Jenna?
Step up our game. But no, I think it is nice. I think it is, I don't want to say a disadvantage whatsoever, but Jojo and I are in our own lane, obviously, so I think it's nice because we can just focus on us. There is nobody else that we can really compare to because we're just different. And so I actually love that because I want us to then just push ourselves each week and be better than we were, and to exceed our own expectations as a couple, but as individuals. So yeah, we'll see. But it's fun. It's fun to like be so different that you're like, oh, I have no idea how it's gonna go.
Right. And I know you can't spill the beans on everything, of course, but what can you tell us about your season 2 dance? What dance style? Maybe something about the costumes. What can you give us?
Jojo has already been very hands on deck for the costume department. She's chosen out our fabrics. Okay. I'm really excited. We're dancing to one of Jojo's favorite artists. So I know that this week is really special to her. And I think it's going to bring out a different side of her that people are not ready for. So I'm excited. I'm very, very excited.
Now, how did she react when you broke the news to her, like you are going to be dancing to someone you love?
Oh, she screamed. Her reactions are everything are already. And so she was just beyond excited. So yeah.
Totally.
And every time we rehearse it, she's like singing the song and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's living her best life right now.
Perfect. Well, I actually didn't know, you told me earlier before we hopped on that you and your real life partner, Val, are living apart. I didn't know they were doing this for a second season. So when did you guys find out who you were both paired with? Were you apart at the time? And like, what were those conversations like when you're like, I'm with JoJo and then he's with Olivia? That must have been so exciting.
Yeah, I think we found out pretty last minute that we were going to have to live separately for the season. So that was a little bit disappointing, because we just, all of us are vaccinated, we're doing the testing. And so we just assumed that we would be fine. But there are 3 married couples on the season, and all of us were given, this news that you're going to have to live separately. So whatever, that happened. But I he was so excited when he found out I was going to be dancing with a girl.
Mhm.
And he was just like, I think you're perfect for this, and I can't wait for you to just have a different season. And, and originally he was like, I hope it's like Ruby Rose. I'm like, oh yeah, do ya now? I bet. But he was
Funny.
excited because, ironically enough, JoJo and I, well, and Val, are neighbors. We live 1 minute away from each other. No
No
joke.
way. Wow.
And so when we first moved into our home, we would pass her house every day, and you'd be like, haha, there's Jojo Siwa's house. Like, wow, she's nailing it. And then when we found out that she was going to be my partner, we were like, no way. So just how the universe works is so hysterical. And then when he found out that he was going to be with Olivia, I was like, you are the absolute perfect person to be with her. If anyone can give somebody confidence in themselves and just be the best partner ever, it's Val. And it's been so fun to see his and Olivia's friendship blossom. I haven't seen him this happy on Dancing with the Stars in about like 4 seasons. And so it's just been so beautiful to see him so excited to go to rehearsal every day. And to get to know Olivia a little bit, she is just a doll. And I'm so happy that she's having this experience, and with Val. So yeah.
I know, that's
happy.
perfect. I mean, everything Val said in the interview package, it was just so sweet. And I love that he's taking the positive route. Was he at all nervous in any way, just about like the potential backlash from fans?
I mean, both of us got the scandal of the season. So, like, we're just ready for it.
Yeah.
We're both taking it. But again, so one of the best qualities about Val, and it's actually similar to JoJo, is he will never make an opinion on somebody until he meets them. And he is willing to love anyone and to accept anyone. And so, he's so amazing. And again, I think he's bringing out such a beautiful light out of Olivia and a different side of her that people haven't been able to see. So yeah, I cannot wait to see how far they go. They better be in the finals.
I think they are too. And talk to me, because I know that like Olivia's sister was in the audience. What are they doing at ABC for you guys as far as that goes? Is it just like friends and family? Is JoJo going to be inviting anyone else? How is that working?
So a little sad, because they told us that only the celebrities are able to have tickets this season for audience members, which we totally get. So it's a very limited audience. The pros don't even get to have tickets. So it's mostly just kind of friends and family. So I think you saw JoJo's family there, her girlfriend there. There was Hannah Brown there last night in support for Matt. But again, really strict with, you have to have proof of vaccination. And I think you have to get tested 24 hours in advance with a negative result. So mostly just family and friends right now, but I can't even begin to describe just the elevated energy that having an audience brings. Last season we had no one, and it was just like silence. It was crazy. I mean, it was still awesome, but it's even just like those, I don't know how many people, like 24 people that maybe were there. It really did bring some life and some light to the ballroom.
Awesome. Well, lastly, Jenna, I just want to have you really quickly, just like straight to the camera, tease week 2 dance, and then send a message directly to JoJo. What do you want to tell her going into week 2?
Oh, okay. So week 2, we are going to be spicy. We are going to be fierce. And we are going to be monsters on that dance floor. There's a few hints in there. Jojo, I'm so excited for people to see this side of you. I know how much you love this dance already, and I cannot wait to perform it with you. Let's kill it.